Everybody, John Henderson Pierre, the Beer Ramble, back again. Another Beer Ramble edition. This will be a quick one. Looking at Red Hare from Red Hare Brewing Company, their Gem City Classic Craft Light Lager. Yes, you can say a light lager style. Obvious. 4.2% ABV. Good score on Beer Advocate and Rate Beer. 15.9 IBU, International Bitterness Units. Most light beers tend to be within that range 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. Depends. Maybe 3.8, 3.9, like Old Milwaukee Light or Amstel Light, which is a Euro light lager. Again, I'm in my cold beer glass I've had in the freezer. I may not look that way to you on the camera, but it looks very light, looks like a orangeade, very clear, murky, cloudy sort of brew. I did one beer from them that I reviewed is the Red Hare Gangway IPA, and I think that's on one of my videos. So take a look. I think that's what I did. I could be wrong. I'm known to be wrong sometimes. Marietta, Georgia, of course, the company, Red Hare Brewing Company, Marietta, Georgia, I guess somewhere near or close to outside of Atlanta, a suburb of Atlanta, I guess. Some interesting notes to this beer. Definitely some citrus I'm smelling. For a light beer, it has a very lemony scent to it. Hmm, Interesting. Yeah, very citrusy. So aromas. Interesting for a light lager. I don't know if I would consider this a light lager. I could be wrong what it is, but mm. For most light beers tend to be more your traditional light lagers, more of a yellow, more of a malty, not malt, but more rice and corn sort of feel, cooked vegetables. This is a little bit different for a light lager. It's definitely refreshing. Definitely not nice body, easy drinking. You know, when the whole light beer phase or came onto existence in 1975, Miller Lite was the first with Gentleman's Light or some other name they had, not Gentleman's Light, but some name they had Light, and then of course it became well known, popular back in 1978. Again, people were this whole health revolution started in the mid 70s, and the beer companies realized that hey, people wanted to drink beer, but without having all the calories and all the added ingredients. So that's when that came into existence. Of course, Natural Light, of course, followed suit in 1977 by Anheuser-Busch, which was known as Anheuser-Busch Natural or Busch Natural, and Natural Light. Then you had Schlitz Light, and then Genesee Light came out in 1978. Then you had a few others, and then of course the popularity really grew with Budweiser Light or Diet Beer or whatever. Then became Bud Light, which released in 1982. Then you have several others throughout the years. You know, Milwaukee's Best Light. You had Busch Light came out. Milwaukee's Best came out in 1989. Meisterbrow. No, they didn't have a light version of that. Busch Light came out in 1989. Keystone Light, of course, we all know Keystone Premium, but Keystone Light, which I think about the same time, I believe, with Busch Light. So again, everybody wanted good beer, great tasting beer, but without all the added, stuff that came with it. I could knock a couple of these back in a case, and I know I'm not going to have a beer gut versus if I drank Budweiser or if I drank, Miller High Life or this lager or that lager or whatever. So that sort of came to scene. And of course, now if you look at the top 10 beers, Coors Light, of course, we all know, and not forget about that. That came out also in 78 as well. And if you look at the top 10 best-selling beers right now on the market, about top 20 selling beers, all of them, about half, 10 or 8 of the 20 are all light beers or light lagers. So, and I guess maybe with Red Hare, they've said, hey, and I'm sure other companies like them will probably saying, hey, let's do something else, but give it a little bit of a kick, a little flavor to it, instead of making it be like the traditional light thing you've had. I mentioned old Milwaukee Light, of course, that came around, 3.9%, um, Miller High Life Light, Miller Light, um, Cheddar Draft, a few others that are out there now. So there's a slew of them. But anyway, and I've had a view about light beers. I'm not a big light beer guy. I will drink a couple of them from time to time, but I'm not usually one to go rush to go run and get it. That's just not what I'm going to do. So, um, anyway, won't go on rambling. Blah, 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 blah. This is good, enjoyable, refreshing, a decent, craft light lager, and it's not bad. 4.2%. You can knock a few of these back, 6 of them, maybe maybe 7 during any sporting event, I'm sure. And barbecue, some snack cheese. You can eat this thing with anything fried or grilled or broiled, or even boil seafood. A seafood boil. Outside, you can have a few of these and probably will pair well with this meal. You know, crawfish, whatever, or lobster, whatever. So yeah, so this is a good beer. I'm not gonna negative out again. Very easy, go down, very smooth drinking, pretty good. So that's my score. I'm gonna give it an 8 score. A B, good enough for a light beer. If you had this, leave your statements and comments on the bottom. Gem City Classic Craft Light Lager. Trying to spare the beer Ramilton. Keep on watching as always. Cheers. Light, light, light.